Everybody, I'm Tushar, an AI scientist, and in this video we are going to cover an AI project using LLMs. If you are someone who is just getting started with the LLMs and want to know what interesting use cases you can cover, this is going to be a perfect idea for you to get started with this video. What we are going to cover in this video is we are going to make one AI agent kind of thing which will take two things: the URL of the news article. The article is, let's say, so big and you do not have time to read upon it, and your email address. And what this AI agent will do, it will fetch the news article from this URL, will summarize it up using the LLMs, and will send the summary which is generated directly to your email box. And we are not just going to build this project, we are going to deploy it as well. Into the end, we are going to deploy it as well over the Streamlit Cloud. So stay till the end, and happy learning ahead.
So before we get started, let me show you the demo of our end product which we are going to build in this video. Screen which you are seeing in front of you, this is a fully deployed Streamlit app deployed over the Streamlit Cloud. It has two fields. One field will expect you to enter the news article's URL, which I'm just copying from the news article website Times of India. Let me paste it here. You can try with any other news website as well. Just need to type the email address to which you want to send this summary and press summarize and send. Now let's wait. So it says that it has generated the summary of our news article. This is the summary which you are seeing right here, and it says that it has sent to our email. Let's check if it has actually sent or just joking. So here I have received one email, and this is actually a summary of the news article. So our application is working fine, guys. Now let's jump into the code to understand it better how it works. So here we are in our coding screen. We are not directly going to write the code in .py file. Eventually we will, but for the sake of understanding, we are going to start with the Jupyter notebook because they are convenient and easy to understand, easy to experiment with as well. So here are all the imports which we are going to use for our project, and this is the first step of our pipeline, guys. The first step will be like we have the URL of the news article. We want to extract it up from the web. So here we can say that it is a web scraper. What it does, like we will pass the URL to a article class. This article class is from the newspaper library. This is a very famous library, guys. If you want to scrape articles from the web, this is a very famous library. You just pass the URL to the article class and it will give you the article object. You just need to download and parse it up and return it as text. So you will see that if we pass the URL, this particular URL which belongs to a news article, pass this URL to this function, and if you try to print it up, you will see this is the text from this particular news article. This news article belongs to Hindu, the hindu.com. You can try with any other URL as well, and it is expected to be working fine. So here is all the text from this particular news URL. Now our second step will be to pass this text to our LLM and ask our LLM to generate the summary of this particular text. That will be the second part of our pipeline, which is generate summary. To initialize, first of all, we need to initialize the device to which we are going to load our model. If you have the GPU, it's better to load the whole model onto the GPU itself because they are fast. And this command will basically give you the device, that particular device. If you are a Mac user, you should do with this particular statement. If you are a Windows user or have the CUDA GPU, you should go with this particular statement. Next is the choice of our LLM, to which particular LLM we should go with. You can go with your favorite LLM, guys, but you can obviously go with the LLMs hosted by the OpenAI because they are the good and perfect right now, till now in the market. They are the best one, but they are expensive. You can go with GPT-4, GPT-5 if you want to generate the good summaries, But for the sake of experiment, for the sake of this POC which we are going to make in this particular video, we are going to use the free LLMs which are hosted by our Hugging Face website. So LLM which we are going with is this one, the Facebook part large CNN. Why we are going to use this particular LLM? To understand that, we need to go to the Hugging Face website. Let's move. So here we are in our Hugging Face website. Let's go to the model section, because so guys, let me give you some context of Hugging Face. Like, you can use data sets, like Hugging Face as a dataset class, dataset tab, in which you can use publicly available dataset for your experimentation. Let's say you are building something and you are not finding the dataset, so you can check with the Hugging Face. And Hugging Face has pre-trained models as well, because the LLM which we are going to use is not something we're going to train it from scratch. We are going to use all the LLMs which are already trained by other users and already hosted our this website named Hugging Face. You can host your LLM as well for the public use over here, and it will surely give you open source contribution as well. So let's check the LLM which we are talking about. The name of our LLM is Facebook Bart Large CNN, which we just pasted here. Let's go to it. Alright guys, so it is some LLM which you can see in the model description, the description of this LLM, that this is particularly fine tuned. And what it is fine tuned for? To generate the summaries of the news articles. That's why we are going to use this particular LLM, because it is already fine tuned for the use case we are using it for. Alright guys, you can check with the different other LLMs as well which are hosted here. If you have some use case, let's say sentence classification, so you can check which particular LLM is fine tuned for the sentence classification, and you can go with that as well. But for this use case, we are going to go with Facebook Bart Large CNN. Let's move to our coding screen back. So I've already explained why we are going with this particular LLM. To use this LLM, we need to take the model and the tokenizer as well, and they should belong to same LLM, because tokenizers are something which will assign the unique IDs to the tokens, and using those IDs the LLM will know about what particular token we are talking about. So the tokenizer and model should belong to the same LLM. So here we are initializing our whole LLM and the tokenizer Facebook Bart Large CNN, and here we are loading that particular model into our GPU. This is a very light model guys from the Hugging Face, so that's why we are able to load it into our GPU. But if you want to go with some big LLMs which you can use for various other applications which are very well efficient as well, this is not a very efficient model, just for the experimentation purpose. Those are the models which you cannot load into the consumer grade GPU into your laptop. In that case, you need to rent some GPUs over the server. Alright guys, this is just for the experimentation purpose. And here we are going to initialize the pipeline class. For what purpose? Summarization. So that is the key that will go over here, and this is a model, and this is a tokenizer which we are going to use, and device is -1. This is basically, here we are saying that we have already loaded our model to the device of our choice, and you please don't bother about that. Alright, so let's initialize the pipeline class. This is the summarizer basically, and here we have made one function named summarize text, to which we will pass the text. We will clean the text, basically this is for the cleaning purpose of that text, and we will pass that cleaned text to our summarizer object which we just initialized here, and it will return the whole summary 0 and summary text. It will just return the whole summary. Let me give you a context of these parameters. Max length is basically the maximum length of the summary is 150 tokens, and minimum length should be 50. Alright guys, so that we summary should not go like in 2 sentences. Like minimum length we are setting something and maximum length we are setting something. Alright guys, so let's check if it works fine. Into text object above we have already loaded the article. We have already scraped the article and loaded it into text object. Next, pass this text object to this summarize text. Let's do that, and it is expected to return us the summary of that particular text. Let's run it up. Alright, so it is taking a bit of time. Let's wait. Okay, it ran successfully without errors. Let's check what we got in our summary text. Alright guys, so here is the whole summary which our LLM returned. And one more thing guys, this LLM is running in your machine, not on the Hugging Face servers, in your machine. So it might take some time at this particular point if you're doing it for the first time, because it will load the model, load the tokenizer into your RAM, download it up from the Hugging Face. Hugging Face just hosted them up. You need to download it from there and use it in your machine. So here is the summary guys, the summary of our news article. So we have successfully completed our second step as well, which is to generate the summary of the news article. We have scraped it from the URL using this function, and we have passed it to our LLM here, summarization object which we just generated, and we got the summary. We have successfully completed 2 steps. Next step is to send the email of this news summary to our email address. For that you need like 2 environment variables, which they might not be needed to be environment, but right now I'm keeping them as environment variables because they are secret variables. For that you need to do this load.env. It will just load all the environment variable from this .env file, which I just show you. In the .env file you will be having 2 things, because an email will be sent to the email box, right? So this email must be coming from other email address, the sender's email address, right? So the credentials for that sender email address will be stored into this .env file. One will be the sender's email, which is my email in this case, and other will be the sender's password. This is not the normal password of your email box guys. This is a special type of password which they call it as app password. And how to generate the app password for your email, the link I've already given into this readme file guys. So if you go to this particular URL, let's paste it here. From this particular URL you can generate the app password for the sender's email, the email from which the email will go to the email, which email you will enter that Streamlit app which I just showed you. Using this URL you can generate the app password for your email, and that app password will go to that .env file. Let's move back to that screen. So these 2 things will go in our .env file guys. These are 2 secret variables. That's why I have kept them as environment variables. We call them as environment variables, and we are going to load these environment variables using this .load.env .env, this one. This is basically used to load all those environment variables which are initialized in .env file, and we are going to load them here. Let me run it up, and if you will see that sender email has my email and sender password is also having the email password, not the actual email password but the app password, which will be generated the way which I just showed you from that URL. Alright guys, so next we are initializing the final step of our pipeline, which is the send email. Now we have generated the summary over here. Now this summary need to go to the email address. Which email address? Which we will enter into that Streamlit app. It can be your email address, it can be others email address as well, but the email to that address will go from your email, because you need to specify the sender email and sender password. Alright guys, so let's initialize this class. So this class will take send email, initial this function, sorry, not the class. So this function will take four things. One will be the summary, the recipient email, the sender email, and the sender password. So let's check if it is working fine. Send email, summary will be something which we just generated, the summary text. Recipient email, I'm keeping my email. You do not need to keep your email, you can keep it as some other email, some other person's email as well. Like you do not need to, basically you do not need to have a password for this particular email, the recipient email. Sender email, you need to have the email address and the password, because if you are sending an email through an email, you need to have the password, that way it will go there. So let's run it up. So how it does, like it does using this particular smtp lib smtp, which will open the Gmail server and will send the email. Login to, first of all it will log in and then it will send to this particular recipient email. Let's run it up. Alright, it returned true. It means the email has been sent successfully. Let's check. So here we are back in our email box and I have received one email over here, you can see, and there is the summary, obviously the summary which we just generated. Let's move back to there. So now we have successfully built the three parts of our pipeline. One will scrap the article from the URL, second will summarize the article using the LLMs, third will send that summary to the email box. We are done with all these three steps. Now let's start moving to the .py file and let's build the complete Streamlit app, integrating all these things into a chain. For that I have made this app.py file. Now let me make you understand how it works. Here we are loading some imports again, the same thing. These send email, summarize text, scrape article, these things I have made functions in a separate .py file. Believe me guys, it is the best practice. If you modularize your code in this way, it will be very much readable and easy to understand as well. So email sender, which will send the email, and summarizer, which will generate the summary. I have made three different files for three different steps. Now in our app.py file, here we are importing some variables, Streamlit and all other important functions, loading all the environment variables, which is sender email and the sender password. This is the title of our web app, which on the Streamlit I just showed you the article, summarizer and the emailer. You can change it according to your use case. URL will go as a text input. Text input will basically specify that textual box in which we can enter something. It will say that enter the URL, enter your email address, and if you press the button will say that summarize and send. If you'll press the button, the submit will be true, and if URL and email is already there, the spinner will start. The spinner will scrape the article from this particular function which I just showed you. It will write that article has been scraped. Next it will pass the URL to the summarized text into a summary, and it will write that summary onto our UI. Next the spinner will start, and will like, now we have to send that summary to the email. Spinner will start and will summarize that thing, summary result, and they are true, it will say that summary has been successfully sent. Alright, let's try to run it up now. Let me activate the environment. And this is a virtual environment which I just activated, made using UV. Now let's run UV run, no, Streamlit run app.py. So this is our Streamlit app, guys. So that app.py, just need to enter the URL of the article. Let's say I find one news article, let's say this one, copy the URL, paste it here, and enter the email address of the person you want to send this email. Summarize and send. One error came. Alright, so that error was because we are not allowed to scrape the articles from that particular website. That website has applied some security. There are other ways as well to scrape the article from such websites. We can talk about them into our coming videos. But for the time being, I copied some other URL, news URL. Here I press summarize and send, and it says that summary has been sent to our email address. Let's check. Let's move to our email box. Yes, so you can see, guys, we have successfully made one Streamlit app, alright, which is working fine, which you can use to demonstrate your skill set to others. Obviously, now we are into our final phase of our video, in which we are going to deploy this Streamlit app onto the Streamlit Cloud. Let's move to that part. For that you need to go Streamlit Cloud, go to Community Cloud, join Community Cloud, let's say, and it will ask you for the login and sign up if you are the first time user, as I've already been here, so it didn't ask me anything. And here you need to mention, like, let's say this is the old app, let me delete it up. Okay, so this has been deleted. Let's say create app. You go to create app, and we are going to deploy it from the GitHub, guys. So here you need to mention the repository. Let me just go to GitHub. So this is the repository. Copy it up, paste it here. Which branch the code is in? Our code is already in the main branch. So, and here will be the file, main file path, the app, basically. App is, in our case, is actually this one, app.py. So just enter that. And next go to advanced settings. Here let's select the Python version. In our case is actually 3.12, and here you need to provide the environment variables. Environment variables in our use case, if you remember, is the sender email and the sender password. So let me take it from there. Paste it up. So these are the environment variables which I copied from the .env file, guys. Because guys, actually .env file is something which we are not going to push into our GitHub because they are secret variables, right? Just press save and do deploy. Alright, so deployment has started. Okay, our app is cooking. Amazing, guys. So our app has successfully been deployed. Let's test it up. Let me copy the news article URL. Okay, let's not go with this one this time. Let's say news article. Let's go with this one. Paste it here, type your email address, summarize and send. Amazing, guys. So it says that the summary has been generated successfully and it has already been sent to my email. Let's check. It is lying. Okay, it's telling the truth. Summary is here. So Streamlit web app is working fine. Now if you want, you can share this URL in your resume to maybe your potential employer to show your skill set, that you know how to deploy things up to the production. Yes, guys. So now we have successfully deployed our application and we are good to go. See you in the next one.
Thank you very much for watching till the end, guys. I hope you got something and I hope you learned something new today. The code of the whole project is available, publicly available over the GitHub. Link is given into the descriptions below. And if you found this video useful, please press the like button and subscribe my channel, because it is going to motivate me to make more such videos for you. And see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.